The next time you buy a car, new or used, you might get a $500 fee. It's in the fine print. A customer tells On Your Side he was told by law he could not negotiate it. Turns out it's a state program that should benefit all Missouri drivers. And yet we found out not all dealers charge it. Ashley Reynolds followed the money.
Jeffrey Meyer has no buyer's remorse.
We've taken it to Florida to see friends, 28.3 miles to the gallon.
He bought this 2020 Chrysler Pacifica S at James River Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. While wheeling and dealing, he noticed this, an administrative fee.
And he said, this is going to be $499. And I said, now, wait a minute. I said, I bought a lot of cars over the years, and I've never paid over $199 for a document fee.
He says he was told the money goes to the Missouri's Department of Revenue and to the Motor Vehicle Administration Technology Fund. That's the program to overhaul our severely outdated 40-year-old computer system at DMV offices across the state.
These poor clerks that are in training over there right now, they have to learn 50 different systems. It's 50 different passwords to get into those systems because the systems don't talk.
And then where's this system at? I mean, 2026.
Eventually, the new system will go into dealerships themselves, so you can pay your car taxes there and not at the DMV.
When I first moved down here, it was almost like going back in time. I was like, why are we giving the titles to the customers? In Illinois, it was simple, it was done, it was convenient.
John Whittaker with the now Springfield Nissan and Springfield Kia, formerly known as Youngblood, was the only big car dealer we spoke with who would go on camera. He says it's about time.
It is going to cause us a little bit more work, but it's going to be way more convenient for the consumer. And that way the state collects their taxes right up front.
State Senator Lincoln Huff agrees it'll be good for Missourians.
You could oftentimes have several $1,000s in taxes that are owed, sales taxes, and so you can now roll that into your payments, your financing.
Are the dealers really collecting $499 on every car that they sell throughout the state of Missouri? And if they are, how much of that is being sent to the state, if any? How much of that are the dealers keeping? All of it? None of it?
To find the answers, On Your Side filed this public records request with DOR. A few weeks later, we got this 54-page document.
Here is what we got back.
Turns out the fee Meyer paid is a little high. According to a 2021 state law, dealerships can charge whatever they want for that administrative fee, up to $565 per car. 10% of that must go to the state fund. Dealerships keep the rest. Not all charge the max. The average is $331. May Motor Company was one of the lowest in our area, $99.
And I'm tickled about that. Tickled and not at the same time. I'm thinking, oh gosh, am I leaving money on the table? And I'm not saying that we'll stay at $99 forever, but on the other hand, we're not going to jump to $565 next week either.
Car salesmen were quick to tell us it's not a profit gotcha.
Well, you know, we really aren't. And at the end of the day, everybody shops online, Ashley, right? And so we take that fee into consideration when we're marketing our pricing. If I'm not competitive with the dealer down the street, my phone's not going to ring.
Meyer says he was told he could not negotiate the fee amount.
We don't have any flexibility, I believe was his words.
Turns out that's correct. DOR says no barter.
If they choose to charge an administrative fee, they have to charge that administrative fee to all of their customers at the same price everywhere.
Back to the second part of Meyer's question.
Are the dealers really collecting $499 on every car that they sell throughout the state of Missouri? And if they are, how much of that is being sent to the state, if any?
The paperwork shows how much each dealership has put into the fund. For example, some top contributors in the Ozarks last year: Corwin Motors, $178,000. Reliable Chevrolet, $140,000. Thompson Sales, $98,000. And Youngblood, $91,000. It also shows only 907 of the 4,917 dealers in the Show Me State collect an administrative fee. Why do dealers get to choose to participate
As opposed to mandatory, if we're all going to end up benefiting from this system?
That's a great question. And it is, you know, and dealers that don't charge that, I guess you could say, if we buy our car there, we're getting a little better deal. But that's the way the legislature wrote it. You know, that big dilemma between may and shall, and instead of having the shall word in there, it had the may, which meant the dealers were able to choose whether they wanted to charge that fee or not.
I think it's up to the individual dealers and dealerships to decide where and how much they would charge, or if they charge at all.
Those 907 dealerships that have the administrative fee are putting about $1.5 million a month into the fund.
I guess I'm rather happy to hear that they're turning over the fee that they're supposed to.
In that records request, I asked to see the total budget for the fund. Documents show by 2031, this is a more than $82 million projected program.
You know, it takes time to build, obviously, a giant IT system like this, but I think in the end, it'll be a better system for the public.
But we certainly want to follow the money and know that it's being spent wisely.
Of course.
Dispersed $6.5 million for infrastructure equipment. Be interesting to know if that was put out for public bid, wouldn't it?
Jetton says the state went with the lowest of 4 bids. A company called Fast Enterprises in Colorado will do the job.
They've moved about 30 employees to Jeff City. Their bid came in at $65 million. The next closest bid was $104 million, if I'm not mistaken. So they were about $40 million cheaper than everybody else. And they've kind of got a reputation as being the top modernization company in the nation. I think we're the 17th state that they're doing this at.
And is our budget comparative to other states who have similar programs?
From our understanding, from what we've researched and seen in other states, yes.
$278 is the monthly cost for 2 leased printers.
We have so much trouble keeping the printers operational. You know, they do a heavy volume at the license offices. They break, they go down. And so we think it's going to save us money to go with the print contract, whereas after that, we don't have to worry about a breakdown, because one of the reasons you see delays is you come in here, the printer's not working.
You know, we could go over to Office Depot right now and find cheaper printers, bulk order at Best Buy.
DOR says the computers won't be ready for another 3 years.
And I've got a strange feeling that that's going to be kind of a shorter deadline than they're going to be able to meet.
Dealerships will still be paid until the system is ready to go.
I mean, I would like them to get the computer system set up and get it done. We're sending them a lot of money every month.
When the switch happens, that 10% the state collects from dealerships will drop to 1%.
Well, we're hoping that other 9% will help cover the additional expenses we'll have and staff needed.
Meyer might not agree with the cost,
I don't think we're getting much bang for our buck.
but we did track down where our money goes.
I'm tickled with what you found out.
We think you should know. The Department of Revenue initially declined my interview request. For about a month, I kept asking. They wanted me to send questions beforehand. We don't do that. KY3 News told Governor Parson and Senator Huff about this problem, and eventually we got that set down interview. We'll continue to follow this story. For On Your Side, I'm Ashley Reynolds.